Hello guys, and welcome back to a bit of a different video. If you're new to the channel, if you're just searching this fault code, bear with us. I do a vlog. Check out my channel. If you do, please consider liking and subscribing if you find what I'm telling you interesting. So for you, the guys who are watching, I used to do this a lot, but I've stopped doing it. But I feel this will be something worthy of doing a separate video, because I think a lot of people could be getting conned out of a lot of money or misdiagnosed with their vehicles about this. Right, now let's get to the point, which is obviously the title of what is on the video, the code P253F, as well as 29 at the end, but that's mainly just more in-depth scanners. So if you own a Renault or a Nissan, possibly a Mercedes with the same kind of Renault-ish engines in, but generally speaking, any kind of Renault, mainly with the 1600 or the 1500, K9K or the 1600. Generally speaking, the 1600, which you'll find across the Nissan range, in the X-Trail, the Qashqai, maybe the Juke, the Renault Traffic, Renault Clio, any Laguna, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you're getting this code about oil dilution with the code P253F, and you'll have it into a garage, they'll have looked at it, they'll have tried to reset the code, and that'll come straight back on. What you'll be getting is the orange spanner and the engine management light. I'll just try to show you, because this van is on the lift at the minute. But ignore this if you've got a Nissan Micra, if you've got a Nissan Note, forget the fact we're talking about a Nissan... and the Nissan NV, whatever they call them, 300s. But please bear with us. I know this is a van, but it's the same principle, it's the same engine as what's fitted the Nissan Note, Nissan Micra, Nissan Qashqai, Clio, whatever. So what you will be getting coming on is the spanner down there, the orange spanner, the engine management light, and on the little screen somewhere it'll say engine, just squeeze down off this lift, engine pollution, exhaust emission control system or something, error. You'll get that message. So what is it and what do you need to do about it? Right, number one, more than likely you will be doing quite a lot of local journeys. Don't put that off, because you may be doing longer journeys but not quite getting them to regen. So what you need to do is a factor of a few things. Number one, if your engine's healthy enough, get a garage to do what you call a manual regen on it using the diagnostic equipment. If not, try just going out yourself, keeping it in fourth gear if it's a 6-speed, or if it's an automatic, shift it down to about fourth gear, 60 mile an hour, 2,500 to 3,000 revs for a constant 7 mile without slowing down, speeding up, i.e. early morning, late night, whatever, quiet times. So that's that. Do that 7 mile each way, or just get a local garage to do what you call a manual regen. Once that's been done, clear the codes off, and what you'll find is, I can guarantee that oil dilution thing will come straight back up again. Now the next thing a garage will say, oh well, it means you need your oil changed. Don't put that off. It isn't just a money-making scam. Possibly, yes. But what you need to remember is there's nothing in the engine that can detect oil quality. There might be an oil level sensor, but that's it. The engine hasn't got a magic pixie inside that can tell you whether or not the oil's good or bad. No such thing. So what it does is it counts the amount of times it's had failed regens. And every time you get a failed regen, diesel gets dumped into the oil, and it dilutes the oil, and that can wreck your engine. So by just simply doing a regen and wiping off the codes, they will come back. For some weird reason on this Renault, every time you hit the speed limiter or cruise control, it sets the light off. Even though you can start it up, it won't come on. As soon as you put a cruise control on or something, it does. Don't know why, because French. And like I've said, Nissan is French now, it's owned by Renault, just in case you're getting confused there. So we've done the manual regen, reset the code, and the light keeps coming up. Why? No light on your dashboard saying it needs a service. That's where the problem lies. So what you've got to do is manual regen, probably the best one. Reset the service light, key point here. Reset the service light, even if it's not due. This van had like 10 months and 12,000 mile left until it needed to do. Reset the service light, then reset the code, and that's your problem sorted. That's just basic. You cowboys out there who are buying and selling cars, if you use this information to sell a car on and not do the following, you are a cowboy, simple as that. Unless you know the vehicle's had a recent oil change, don't try and scam somebody, because this code does happen for a reason. So what I'm going to do, and what is the realistic good thing to do, is follow up after you've done that and you've got the code off. But what the problem been with this van, I did actually just service this van 3 months ago, but it does a lot of local driving, and it desperately needed a regen. So what you do is, Something simple, just do it yourself. Don't get it all over your nose though, right? Pull the dipstick and give it a sniff. Not joking, give it a sniff. It should smell, clearly, a bit like oil or whatever, but if you smell it and it smells really strongly of diesel-y, charcoal-y kind of barbecue-y smell, that's why. Because like I've said, you've diluted all that diesel when you do field regens, goes into the sump, thins the oil out like water, and that obviously doesn't act as a lubricant anymore, and it will wreck your whole engine, crankshaft, camshaft, turbo, wrecked it. So what I would always follow up, unless you've just done an oil change last week or something, is follow it up with a full oil change. Now, if you don't watch the channel, I always use original equipment parts. This is more or less what you'll get from Renault, UFI, MAN, Bosch, whatever. Oil filter in the correct grade. Remember this, guys, C4, 530, C4, proper Renault oil, use that. Do an oil and filter change if you actually care about your vehicle. If you're a scammer and you just want this light off to sell the vehicle and not bother doing the oil change, thumbs down from me, pathetic. Do an oil change for what it costs for your customer, whoever you're trying to get the car out for. Or if you're a garage, run the garage, make yourself a little bit of money, but you're not ripping nobody off, because this does need done. If you've done the old smell test, check to see how clean it is with your fingers. So once we've done the oil and filter change, what I would recommend doing is use some of this stuff. This stuff is fantastic. I swear to God, I've used this on my own car. It's basically like a foam, like a carpet cleaner. And what you do is, like the picture shows you, you put the straw at the beginning of the DPF, generally through the pressure sensor. I would not recommend removing temperature sensors or anything. They're very expensive in case they snap. I must say, I'll have to update. I'm not going to update it on this video. It will be on my weekly vlog if I do. If I can't see anywhere at the top easy to get to. So naturally, it's on the lift. I'm going to have a look at the bottom. All you do, guys, you just put the straw in, which I've got one over here, because I've just used this on my car last week. It's just a straw. And the straw goes down the pipe and sprays into the DPF. As you can see, it's like a sort of a red substance. If you can't, like I've mentioned, this could be on a Clio, this could be on a Qashqai, it could be on whatever, X-Trail. If you can get to them, like I've said, you just find the one at the beginning. Don't go spraying it at the one at the back, because you're just spraying it straight out the exhaust. Spray it at the beginning, and it's a foam, and it goes into the DPF, cleans it all out. Then all you've got to do is, obviously, once you've changed the oil, start it up, let it idle for 15 minutes or so. It will be smoky, don't be alarmed. And then take it out for a half an hour drive to clear it out. It will be smoky though. Don't panic. I thought I'd nearly blew my own car up, and I'm experienced using this stuff. Clearly, if you've got a lot of traffic behind you, pull over. You could get done off the police. But there's nothing you can do about it. It's part of cleaning it out. Give it a good run. Job done. There you go. I just wanted to let you know what you had to do if you're getting the spanner light, engine management light, a warning for emissions control system malfunction or whatever they say. Manual regen always helps. Unless you've just done a regen for some reason a couple of days ago, don't do it again. Manual regen, reset the service light manually again, then clear the codes. Oil and filter change using 530 C4, and stick a DPF cleaner in if you can access it. Again, DIY mechanics and stuff, do not piss about with DPFs. If you don't know what you're doing, use this stuff professionally. Like, I know what I'm doing with it. I know how to reset the parameters of your pressure sensor and stuff. You can snap things and break things, which are very, very expensive on the DPF. And in some cases, you could actually need to remove the DPF if you snap a sensor. And in a lot of these things, you've got to drop subframes, turbos, and God knows what to get them off. So if you don't know what you're doing, don't mess about with the stuff. You know, like if you're spraying it into the hole, you don't know where you're meant to be putting it. You've got to make sure you know it's going into the DPF. Sometimes it goes a long way down a tube to get to it. So there you go. If you've got the issue with fault P253F, and sometimes it can end with 29, oil dilution, that's how you do it. Or like I've said, pay a decent garage to do it for you if you don't know what you're doing yourself. You need all the proper diagnostic equipment. I shall just go and show you what I've been using. And also, when you've done the regen, you need to reprogram the parameters of the DPF, which helps. And I just use this. I just swing it round. Autel 808, MK 808 BT. And they say that's where I've had the Renault traffic on. And you need all this to do it anyway. You can't just do all this with a £5 device off eBay. So generally speaking, you probably have to get yourself to a garage to get this done. So I just thought I would add this one in. Sorry guys if you're my regulars and you think, oh, what's this about? I've just found a lot of me little service resets, basic fixes and DIYs. I found these videos are very popular. So if you are new to the channel, please, if this has helped you, hit the like. Leave a comment, let us know if you've actually solved this problem, where you go to some places, they'll be chucking DPFs in, pressure sensors in, God knows what, and find why is it still not resetting. If there's not a service light on, it doesn't normally ring a bell even in a mechanic's head to go reset the service light that doesn't need reset. So there you go. Please though, hit the like if you haven't already done so, consider subscribing and leave a comment. I'll catch you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.